Good morning. That was a very nice introduction. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys today. I've worked with many of you, and it's a privilege, honestly, to work with you guys. Today, we're going to be talking about a few topics with inspections. I'm going to go over some details. Additionally, as we speak, if there's any emphasis on certain areas, maybe experiences, questions, or anything, feel free to to kind of come in as a Q&A type of thing. I want to make sure that the time that we have is used as efficiently as possible. So again, my name is Johan from Apex One Inspections and Surveys. We're proud to be a part of you guys. So with Jimena, we teamed up. We created a VIP service for you guys. The idea is to be there every minute, every second when you guys need it. First and foremost, we have a lot of additional perks or benefits for you as being partners with us. First and foremost, permit information. So as you guys show properties or list properties, if you have any questions on does it have a permit, does it not have a permit, what are the conditions, details like that, I want to make sure that we have a very clear understanding that you guys can contact us right away and we'll respond right away. Second of all, email wise, a lot of you are showing properties and maybe you see something weird or a question of something. I want you to have the connection with us that you can call us for any questions that you guys may have. So I've worked with some of you have never worked with, but we're part of a team. So let's make that connection very transparently. Today we're going to be talking about a few things. We're going to be talking about inspections. We're going to be talking about surveys. We're going to be talking about some changes in the market, certifications. The idea here is to kind of be up to the times. A lot of times in real estate, and just like any profession, things change, and then we're not up to the changes. We're not up to different details. Okay. I've said this many times, and if someone has been in my presentations before, clients or buyers are they're very smart, they're very educated, and sometimes they have a lot of knowledge. And most of the times you're going to notice that they ask questions that they probably already know the answers. And they're kind of checking on you to see if you are, are you ready? I don't know if that's happened to you guys. Even with me as an inspection company, I've done inspections for people where they're an electrician or they're a plumber, and they ask me, hey, what's this? And they know what it is. It's a water heater. How many gallons? Like, they ask these questions to see if you know. Have you guys ever had that experience? Like, with some clients? Okay. It's important that we know the details. And what I can give you as a company is that if there's any questions that you guys don't know, say, okay, hold on a second. It's out of my field, but let me call the inspector real quick that we have them on call 100%. Feel free to have that relationship with us. I want to make sure that this year we take this to the next level. Like, I don't know if you guys are on the same page here, right? Everybody wants to, like, sell more, like, be more productive. That's what we want to create. So we need to team up for that. Okay, so as far as collaborations on our company, we have joined forces with the Marlins. We have joined forces with FIU Athletics. If any of you like baseball, I know there's more girls than guys, but hey, some girls like baseball, I don't know. So if you like baseball, feel free to contact us. We have a lot of events going on with the Marlins. Two guys here, so most of you guys like soccer, right? Probably, right, you guys. We're trying to get into soccer, but soccer is so expensive to advertise with them. But we'll get there. We'll get there. But baseball for now, guys. I mean, so
About cycling.
also, I mean, we're looking in different avenues. So if you have any ideas too, let me know. Is cycling?
About cycling team here.
What are we're doing the Dolphins cycling event in February? You're familiar with that or no? It's called DSSC. It's a dolphin like I think it's a 1.35K or a 13K cycling event. I'll send you guys the information. It's super cool. You actually cycle with like some football players from the Dolphins. So we're starting to get into like sports. So But any ideas you guys have as well, let us know as well. We'll do collaborations together. But yeah, so like anything that we have, I want you guys to feel comfortable to say anything that we have, you guys are a part of as well. Okay, we're going to be doing some events in some of these parks, the Marlins Park. So you guys are more than welcome and invited, and we'll make sure that the marketing team always sends you guys the details. So as far as inspections, okay, a market, as you guys know, is all over the place, expensive, cheap. There's a lot of changes. So I'm going to be talking about first inspections and then surveys, and then we'll move from there. As far as inspections, first of all, we do the whole state of Florida. Okay, so some of you maybe have the mindset that you sell in Miami or Broward, or depending on limitations. I know obviously as a realtor you have to kind of drive somewhere, which is a little bit uncomfortable. But if the opportunity arises where you need to do an inspection in different areas in the whole state of Florida, count us in. There's a lot of opportunities in Ocala. There's a lot of opportunities in Tampa, Orlando that I don't know if you guys are tapping into or not, but you should really look into that. Okay. As far as inspections, I'm going to talk a little bit briefly about the inspections. I've had multiple presentations here before, so I don't want to bombard you with kind of the same information, but I want to give you some new information. Typical inspections, right? As a realtor, that you should know, first inspection is your wind mitigation. Okay, wind mitigation standard is something that you guys should know. If you don't know, you're gonna know today. Wind mitigation is what sets the price of the insurance, right? So what do we do as inspectors? We look at windows and doors if they're impact protected. We look at the age of the roof. We look at characteristics as far as structural characteristics.
You can.
Oh,
She's saying,
okay.
yeah, she's saying because if it's going to talk about the 4 point, the wind. No está trabajando conmigo.
No.
Okay, here.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There you go.
¿Se puede hacer en español?
No, es que gente conectada que no habla español.
I can te lo puedo mandar después en español si quiere el reporte. You have it? We'll get your email and we'll. Okay. I'm forbidden to speak Spanish. I'm so sorry. No, my Spanish is not that good yet. Not very good, but so I'm Cuban. Spanish is okay. Just English, I feel a little bit more comfortable. So the wind mitigation, right? You'll see these charts. You'll see these details. Wind mitigation is important because especially when the buyer, they're going to ask you how much you're going to pay for insurance. That's typical. A lot of us really, we kind of do that all the time. Like when you're buying a car, you don't care how much it is how much you're going to pay. What's my payment? Who cares about anything else, right? So this is what's gonna kind of put you in perspective as far as everything together, because you're gonna know the price of the home, you're gonna know your taxes, right? It's all kind of laid out, but the price of insurance is where it's gonna kind of finalize everything. So in the wind mitigation, we look at the year of the property, we look at the protections of windows and doors, and a lot of structural items. Okay, anytime you sell a home, this is a must. Okay, must. A lot of people say, oh, my client is buying the house and I don't need the wind mitt. What do you mean? Like you're gonna get stuck, So this is something that try to always understand. Okay, is there any questions or maybe anything that we can elaborate a little bit more on the wind mitigation? Any situations, any details, anything that would help? I'm here. No? Okay, so we're clear on this. As realtors, one thing that I'd recommend, two very important questions you should ask. If you're selling or buying the property, it doesn't matter. It's very important to know the year of the roof with a permit, and it's very important to see if all the windows and the doors are protected. Okay, so as a recommendation, whenever you're looking for a prospective home for a client, or you're listing a property, those two items are key, because the roof will prevent some issues. Obviously, will give you an idea of how much it's going to last, like the life expectancy, and at the same time, it's going to give you a discount. And then the windows and the doors will kind of give you information on if it's protected or not, and how, and so forth and so on. Okay. The opening protection, the windows and doors, you only get the discount if all the windows and all the doors are protected. Okay, make sure you understand that. That's another thing that a lot of realtors sometimes don't understand. If there's 10 windows and 9 are protected and 1 isn't, you're not going to get that discount. The discount usually it's pretty big. It's 1,200, 1,500. It usually resembles $100 and something in the mortgage, which kind of make or break the situation. How many of you have lost deals because of $100 in the mortgage, or you know? So we want to be as proactive as possible to make sure that we move forward as quickly, as best as possible. Okay. So no questions on the wind. You guys are experts, right? There's a test at the end. Oh, look at that. Okay.
I just had a situation where the house didn't qualify for that A1 rating
Okay.
because of the women and the doors.
Right.
But it was in particular, it was with you guys actually.
Okay.
with The,
Sorry. Okay.
But they didn't find which was interesting. You know how impact windows have that sticker on the corner. So
Yeah.
between the renovations, someone painted over it,
Okay.
and we couldn't get that one door.
Yep.
To be included in the package. So
Yes.
they ended up not getting the A1.
The A1 rating. So a few things that happen there. When it's a window, usually the decals always come off. But there's always what's called a ghost. So on a glass on the top corners, there's usually like an etching. So on the windows, you can kind of manage. Now on windows, you got to be careful because sometimes the frame is impact. I've seen it, and the glass is not.
Well, they look like impact windows. And
Right.
Then we did the testing.
Yeah. There was a
They took the corners out.
yeah.
They took, like the little shutters. They took all of them out. So we were assuming.
Assuming, yeah.
I guess that's the lesson. Don't assume.
Don't assume, yeah.
They ended up not being.
Something like that, when you see something like that, I'd recommend it's more work for you guys, but maybe ask for a permit or some information to document. I've had this one instance, which I'll never forget, which is a older couple. They renovated the windows, they're impact windows, and what they sold him was actually a impact frame with it was horrible, with regular glass. And the receipt said impact windows. Like it was horrible. I mean, you could imagine what happened after that. It was total chaos. Yeah, unfortunately, we live in Miami, and sometimes,
So
us Hispanics, we invent a little bit. We have to. The struggle is real. Yeah, yeah. So we gotta be careful.
in terms of recourse, like is there
On
would there be a permit for that?
a situation like that, the windows is easier to kind of put things together. The doors is a little bit more complicated. Again, I think they do it on purpose sometimes, the manufacturers, because usually a decal is inside the jamb in between the top and the middle hinge. So that would time as you open and close the door, it's gonna break, it's gonna fall off, or maybe you pressure clean it or you paint it a different color, So what we can do is maybe find a receipt or an NOA. Sometimes if it has a manufacturing detail, like let's say a coplay and a part number, if we can read that, we can kind of do a little bit of research and find the information on that. On your case, it was just that door, right? That solid door? Okay. Yeah, if you want, email me that address. Let me see if I could do a little bit of digging to help you with that. Yeah.
So how would you reinforce it? Like, let's say if we want to just.
Want to replace the door or maybe put a track. What I advise a lot of times is buying those tracks at Habitat for Humanities, where you can buy them, the hurricane panels real cheap. You can put a track, take a picture, and then obviously take the track off. It looks ugly. And then if there's a storm, put it on.
Oh, they will let you pass it?
Yeah. So if they want to go that route, $100 and you solve the issue. Yeah.
It's huge because it is like a $1,500.
Yeah. It's big. Yeah. So if you want, touch base with the client, and we'll definitely fix that for you guys.
Question.
Yeah.
So we had a property where one of the garages was converted into a room,
Yeah.
and they put AC splitters, the one that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Was that kill? I mean, without a permit.
Yeah,
Did you
obviously.
guys look into it, or?
Remember that we're not code enforcers, so whatever you do, like out of code, we know, but we just document what's working and not working. The problem with that is if we can't see that door, then we don't know if it's impact or not. There's no verification.
No, the AC.
Oh, the AC? Oh, no. AC. No.
without permit, so it would be.
The only thing I would say there is that what we would calculate there is we would out calculate the unit, the size of the unit, and make sure that the addition of of the room, the square feet, 200, 300 square feet, is enough volume for the AC.
No,
Big-
but not, right now they already removed everything. They just left the AC.
Okay.
Removed the kitchen, the wall. That
Right. I mean, we just
It's a
inspect.
garage
Right.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, we just inspect and give you the details, But as far as it, like a violation, we're not those type of inspectors. We just kind of assume, give you the details based on what it is. A lot of people buy garages, and I mean, I like cars, so if I had a garage, but my wife did not like a garage, so I converted to a room. She's there. Shame on you. But but if you do like if you want to convert it, it's okay as long as you do it correctly. Where you add additional AC and stuff. A lot of people add these additional areas, and then the AC is not enough, and then the house suffers because of a small area. But at the end of the day, whatever the buyer wants to do, I'll give them recommendations to do it correctly too. In garages too, take in mind that there's no insulation. So if you have an attic area there, you're not going to find insulation there. So a lot of times you put AC and then it's hotter than the rest of the home because of that. So as long as you tell me what you want to do, I can kind of guide the buyer to do things correctly. But that's what we're here for. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions on the mitigation? Or we went off track a little bit, but okay. So 4-point inspection is your next common inspection. The 4-point inspection, basically, it's a pass or fail. Okay, now the wind mit, a lot of people say, did I pass a wind mitigation? Yeah, I mean, you're just not gonna get a discount or yes or no. But the 4-point is more like a yes or a no. There's no gray area. There's no, it's yes or no. Like, I actually worked with her recently on a property where there were some issues on the roof where they took care of it. And the 4-point was unsatisfactory. They were having issues with just basically with the insurance. So here, when we do this 4-point inspection, it's important that all these areas pass, okay? It could be something minor, which be aside from being an inspector, some of the things that we look at and we say, oh, it didn't pass. It makes no sense to me, but I just follow rules and regulations, okay? But electrical, obviously, there can't be any, have you guys heard of the word double tap?
Yeah.
Right? You guys hate it, right? it's like common. It's like every electrician does it. I don't know why. So this is something common, easy fix, thank God. Okay, but you're gonna see a lot of that deficiencies. As far as plumbing, what the insurance companies are getting very strict on is the shut-off valves to make sure that if there's a leak under a sink or something, you can shut it off. A lot of renters and tenants take them off, and they take them off so people don't mess with it. Okay, that's why they take them off, really. It's not because there's something broken. But they need to be on there, okay? For the roof, obviously, you can't have any issues. We're coming into a raining season very shortly. So the roof is a very high visibility area, so that's important. And then the AC it doesn't really matter if it's old or new, as long as it's cooling and working, okay? This inspection it should be very powerful for you guys as realtors. If you're buying a property, or you're the buyer's agent, this is your stronghold. This is your hammer, because this right here is a way that you can negotiate some repairs. And remember, repairs, not credits, because you have to have a clean 4-point. Okay. A lot of people say, oh, they're gonna give me a $10,000 credit on the roof. It doesn't work, because you still need to show that you have a satisfactory, 4-point. Okay. Any questions here? Yes.
What's the rule now on the tiles? Because I know if you have like certain broken tiles, you have to replace those, or
Yes.
would that be
Yes.
required?
If it's one broken tile, you got to replace it.
You have to replace it
Yeah.
closing?
Yeah.
And that's on the seller.
On the sellers. Yeah. Now, yeah. So now remember, you guys are realtors. I don't want to go against you, but I'm going to explain something. As is contracts. If you're a listing agent, everybody says, oh, it's as is. You're buying it as is. No, it's not. If you don't have a clean 4-point, you can't get insurance. You're not going to sell. I mean, that's the truth. You know, everybody's like, oh, as is. Everybody, when they sell as is, as is. No, it's not. Like, you know, so like just take in mind that 4 point is important for passing insurance, you know, getting insurance, you know.
I have a question on the roof.
Hmm.
When you do the inspection, do you guys do it with the drone or you actually walk on it?
So rule of thumb is we walk every roof unless it's like 2 stories or higher. Unless if it rained, we can't walk on a tile roof because we're gonna slip and slide all the way down, or a metal roof. But like 99.9%, we always walk on the roof because it's always better to kind of see things. It's better, you know. If it's a 2 story or a building, yeah, things change. Or maybe we walk on one section and then there's another section. Maybe we drone that part, but for the most part, we walk. We walk. The only time we don't walk on a 1 story home is if it's a brand new roof and the seller says, I don't want no more walking on the roof because they think they're gonna break tiles. And we respect it and we fly a drone. If that's the case and you guys are the listing agent, please tell us before. Not when we're on the roof and the guy's upset at us, you know? It's happened, no, I'm assuming.
Your house, please, drone.
Okay, well, make sure you know, okay.
Because we are working the both sides, buyer and seller.
Oh, look at you. Okay, I understand. I understand.
Because
Yeah, just detail. You know, our rule is always walk on the roof for, you know, the best possible. Okay. Any questions on the 4 point? Yes.
On the
I'm gonna take you with all my presentations. No, that's great because you're like no one else is talking but you. So like, yes.
plumbing.
Yeah.
'Cause I know I had a listing that had a plumbing issue when they bought. The
Mhm.
insurance didn't cover it. They had to re-plumb everything.
Okay.
Like was it a polybutyrene something? pipe?
Good. Okay.
So is that like still a thing that needs more coverage?
Yes.
Is there a specific inspection for that one?
Okay. Let me give you details on polybutylene. That change happened last year.
Yeah.
It happened to me with the client, and I'll give you exactly what happened to me. I did an inspection. It was like 4 or 5 years ago. It was a house in the Keys, polybutylene. Was yours a mobile home, travel trailer, or
This was
house?
Chapel Trail. Like,
Okay. This is what's going on. There's materials that are for South Florida, which you're gonna see copper, PVC, cast iron. That's Florida. Then you got all these people up north. Anybody from like New York or no? They love polybutylene. They love PEX. The reason for that is not that the material is bad or good or better or not. Is that because there's cold climate, when it freezes, if you have copper, it breaks it. So have you guys heard of the word winterizing? Have you gone to homes where there's no water and it says winterized? I don't know if you've seen that. Well, next time you see it, you'll remember. Basically, anybody that's from up north, when they leave, like for the summer, and they come down here, they shut the water, and it's called winterizing. Basically, they don't want any water in the pipes because when it freezes, it breaks. Okay, so the material of PEX and polybutylene is used because of that. Okay, so ¿qué pasa? You have these builders coming from up north down here, and then they build with that mentality. That's why you see that. Now, what is the true reason for PEX and polybutylene as far as being not good for South Florida? There was 2 phases of plumbing. Whenever they unite the pipes, they have like es como una abrazadera, like a clamp, I would say in English, una abrazadera for Spanish speaking, a clamp, and it was made in plastic, which, you know, water pressure is 180, I'm sorry, 80 to 100, depending on the water lines. It's ridiculous. And then after a bunch of water bursted, they go, okay, let's go into copper. So they went into copper. But that is the problem. So when you have a property that has polybutylene or PEX, the insurance is usually higher because of that. Because if it's not going to happen today, it's going to happen tomorrow. You know, it's like buying a motorcycle. You're not going to crash today. You're going to crash tomorrow, maybe. No, but well, motorcycle, not no bicicleta, motor. Pero bueno, no, come on. Oh, now the e-bikes are pretty cool. I want to get one. Pero bueno, that's the situation. Now, what happened to you is that a few years back, the insurance company would permit polybutylene, and last year they changed it. You have to replace it, like what happened to you. It happened to me with the same client. So 5 years ago, I did the inspection, everything passed. They sold the house. It happened to be that the buyers chose me to the same house, and when I went, they had to replace it. And then the previous buyers, imagine, they're like, Johan, why didn't you tell me this when I bought 5 years ago? They were super upset. And I'm like, unfortunately, back then it wasn't a thing. Now it is. So that's why it's important also to be up to times with the details. Okay.
So as inspectors, that's my question, because it seems like, not to,
Speak.
but
Speak. I got it.
too PC or
No,
not too
speak.
PC. But it seems like the reports are always like, oh, there's a light bulb missing, and there's a thing.
But they don't capture the.
See, there's no caps here. There's this. There's a little crack. There's this. But then you miss like major things, like the electrical board, like a different
A different brand.
like a brand that they don't.
FPE. Yeah.
Yeah, and or like plumbing having a major issue like this. It
Yeah.
happens all the time in Florida.
Yeah.
So my question is, like, do inspectors actually look at this stuff based on what insurance is going to cover?
They should.
What they might not flag. Or...
They should. What the flip side to the coin is that, first of all, to see these materials, sometimes it's hard to see them, where they're in the wall and all you see is just the valve. I would say it's more predominant above the water heater. So anytime the water lines come into the water heater, you can kind of see that material. And maybe some inspectors honestly don't know, because in this area, it's not common to see that material. Could be a combination of each. At the end of the day, the insurance company is the one that decides, because, for example, in our 4-point, we put materials, copper, PVC, PEX, polybutylene. It's not really unsatisfactory. It really isn't. It's up to the insurance company to say, well, you know what, ma'am, due to you have this, this, and this, we're not going to cover it, or your insurance is more expensive. That's
what happens. They bond it, and then like 30 years later, they drop them. Like,
that's the insurance company.
That,
the insurance company.
It's like, how can, and then obviously it's on you. So like, why didn't you tell me this?
Right.
Was going to cover it, and then you
it's
have to do due diligence, but it's really like.
It's hard because the insurance company accepted it and then they denied it. Yeah. You know, if you want, what we can do on our end is if that were to happen on our end, we can send an additional email. The thing is, on our end, we don't want to come across negative, where then we'll tell you, listen, you have polybutylene, you're going to have a problem, and then you can bind insurance, and then you're thinking, well, oh, Apex, they told me no, and you know, like, it can go both ways. So we'll kind of I guess sugarcoat it a little bit and kind of give you the pros and the cons and see how it goes with it. But we don't want to kill a deal and then you're able to get insurance and then we look bad, and then obviously 30 days later it's going to happen. But you know, but we'll put that in a way where you guys understand the details. Okay.
In just for insurance purposes, if it doesn't detect a leak, then insurance wise it's okay. And it'll pass. It doesn't matter the pipe.
Yeah.
It's copper.
Yeah.
If there's no leaks, it should be okay.
It should be okay. Now it's up to the insurance provider to say, yes, we cover PEX, or no, we cover PEX. Or maybe they binded it and then after they saw it and you're like, oh, you know, that happens a lot. That happens a lot. Okay. I know you had a question. You probably forgot, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was like, if there is another way to see the plumbing, or you just need to go through the plumbing inspection and put the cameras inside the plumbing?
Yeah, like the only way, like for water pressure, visual. You know, for water drain, then we run cameras, but there's no cameras for water pressure. Like, so water pressure materials, you'll see copper, you'll see CPVC, you'll see PEX and polybutylene, and on an older home, galvanized, old home. And then on drain, you'll see PVC and you'll see cast iron is what you see. That's it. Or sometimes, like really old home, I've seen some copper, but that's like real fancy Miami Beach mansion, copper, real pretty. But that's it, you know. But again, I think besides all this is what's important, this relationship that we have, so we can actually communicate. It's hard sometimes to have all these additional details. Okay, so use any questions you guys have, always, you know, be very attentive to us and just, you know, email, call us, whatever is more convenient for you guys. Any other questions on 4 points? Okay, as far as the third inspection is a full comprehensive inspection, which anybody that's buying or selling a house should really do. Okay. A lot of realtors, not you guys, but a lot of realtors call me and they go, oh, I just need a 4-point in a wind. The house is perfect. I'm pretty sure the house is not perfect. You know, a lot of realtors are trying to cut corners as to not going through the headaches of doing this full inspection, the inspector finding all these details. I understand your job is very, very hard. My wife is a commercial real estate agent, and I know it's hard, especially in the negotiation. And I know we worked on 2 deals, and it was a nightmare. But at the same time, what you don't want is for the client to buy a home and then have an issue later and say, oh, this realtor really didn't do a justice by me. If you guys as realtors want to progress and get better and better and better, you need to represent the client completely and finish it to the end. On the full inspection, there's a lot of different areas that we cover: roof, attic, electrical, plumbing, all these different areas. I would motivate you guys to start. If you do waterfront properties, we do seawall inspections. If it has an elevator, how many of you have sold a house with an elevator or seen a house with an elevator? No? Okay. Elevators, we inspect the elevators as well and its functions. Seawalls, you guys know what a seawall is? La pared de agua, Spanish. Seawall on, like if you have a boat, you can park a boat and stuff. Docks, if it has lifts, like for a boat, we do that as well. After this presentation, I would like to do, maybe next time I come, like a luxury presentation on waterfront properties with elevators and show you like really key stuff like elevators, for example. Once you get into the elevator, first of all, it's a little scary because you're like, oh my God, it's an elevator. Is it going to go up or down? Am I going to get stuck? A few key things in elevators, for example, you have to have a phone inside, which they do, but no one connects the phone. So like, God forbid you get stuck, who are you going to call? No one, so that's one thing. So when you are, as a realtor, you're selling this property, you can check this and you tell the buyer this, and they're going to be like, whoa, you're going to have like a little gate that if the gate is not closed, it's not going to move. So it's like a security. Okay, so that's another cool thing that whoever has an elevator knows this. Why shouldn't you if you're going to be selling properties? Okay. Another thing on the doors, like if it's an elevator door, on the top here, you're going to have like a little hole with a cap on it. So if you ever get stuck, you can, with the screwdriver, you can push it in and then you can open this door. If not, you're not going to open the door. So these are like little things that is kind of dumb, but at least you know that the person has had an elevator or know some experience of the elevator. Another thing with the elevator, if you're on the second floor and this is the elevator for the first floor, and the door is open, I can't open the door. Okay, the door is open, right? You can't call the elevator. The elevator won't come down. You have to have this door closed so the elevator comes down. So they're like little boberias, like little dumb things, but at the same time, it makes a difference. And like if you put yourself in my shoes, if let's say you guys are buying a house, right? And it has an elevator and I'm your realtor and I'm explaining this stuff, wouldn't you guys feel more comfortable saying, whoa, this guy has experience, or maybe this guy has an elevator? You never know, So it's important to know these details, okay? He's using the elevator? What? Okay. Okay, so any questions on these, like the standard full inspection and areas? Any questions? Things that I can maybe add to it, water heater, for example, besides the function, it working, water heater is important to make sure we have the right gallons. When you have a family of 5 or 6, the size of the water heater is very important, because if I see that you guys have a family of 5 and the water heater is 40 gallon, I know it's gonna be too small. It's working, it's gonna be fine, but I would suggest, listen, you need a bigger water heater, you have a bigger family. Does anybody know the rules of every 10 gallons is for how many people? Did you guys know or no? No? Every 10 gallons is good for one person. So if you have a 40, a 50, a 60, then 50 would be 5 people and so forth and so on. This is like little, like geeky information, I would say, that it'll be good to know, for clients. AC, a lot of times people add additions, like for example, the room that you told me about. but maybe they didn't compensate for the additional area that has to be cooled. It's important because then you're going to have an extra area, but at night or during the summer, it's going to be very hot. Another key fact, for example, the BTU. Have you guys heard of that word before? BTU, British ton unit. Basically, every one BTU covers 450 square feet. When we do these inspections, besides the AC and the function and the year and all that, we verify the BTU in comparison to the size. It's important to know these details, okay? So, I mean, I don't want you guys to be inspectors. That's not the, but I want you guys to have a little bit of more detail. So if you're selling the house to an AC guy and you speak a few things about the AC, you're gonna get it. I mean, does it make sense, or am I? It makes sense, right? What I'm saying, like, just trying to help you guys. Okay. We're one of the few companies that do pool inspection as well. A lot of inspection companies don't do that. Pool inspections are very important because just the Diamond Bright is like $4,000 if the surface is bad. Pool pumps, pool heaters. A lot of people, you know, inspectors don't even know how to even turn on a pool heater or how it works or what it functions. So all these details are included in these reports and these inspections, okay? Aside from this, we have specialty inspections. So let's say we get to a property and there's humidity, moisture, and we have to do a mold test. We can do mold tests. I think we had an issue with her where we did a mold test on a property that we had some leaks and issues. Asbestos. Asbestos, as far as if there's any insulation that could be harmful for you. A Chinese drywall, I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's still out there. We check for that as well. A radon, has anybody heard of radon? No? Radon, yes? Anybody asked for a radon inspection or client asked for a radon inspection? Never? Yes? Radon, maybe in Spanish, I don't know how to say it in Spanish. Radon, right? Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, so radon, what it is, radon is basically a gas that's emitted from the soil, from the composition of the soil of the home. It's always a problem up north. If you ever have a client that's relocating from up north down, they're gonna ask you for it because it's common there, okay? So radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer. People don't know it. It's usually a problem up north. Now, I'm gonna give you a funny story. I have a builder that we work with. He built a brand new home, and when we did the new home, it was like in Coco Plum. It was a super expensive home, and the buyers wanted a radon inspection. They were from up north. When the buyers ask you for a radon inspection, do not say no, because do not say no just in case. We put our machines, our tests, blah blah blah. The test came out positive for radon. Brand new home. What had happened when the builder got the soil to build the home? I guess they moved the soil from up north. They brought it from up north. So I didn't even think about that. So like they had to go through a whole process. I mean, they fixed the issue because they do like a mitigation or movement of air, but it cost them another $40,000. And due to that, I told that builder and every builder I deal with, listen, you have to put a clause so that if you're building a home, and there's radon, then they have to, the seller of the soil has to pay for it. It's not fair. You assume that they're getting the soil from down here. So there's little things that sometimes happen that kind of catches you by surprise and you learn from it, which is kind of cool. But radon is something as well. I'm sorry?
Sprinkler.
Yes, yeah, sprinkler system. You have to take like a huge course for that because that's like, some of these rain birds are like, it's like a computer, like you have to learn the system. With the sprinkler systems, there are different zones. They have weather sensors where if there's too much humidity in the air, the sprinklers won't turn on. So there's a whole process on that. And then you have city sprinklers, and then you have a well as well, okay? Other things that we do or inspections, yes?
Do you provide the service to check the plumbing inside with the camera?
I was gonna tell you that now. Yeah, sewer scope inspection. So any property that's 1974 or older will have cast iron because that was the material that was used at the time. 74 is the number. Sometimes 75, okay? So that's something that you need to do to make sure Remember that when you have an issue underground, you have to break the floor. Could be very expensive. Okay, there are fixes to that. You can break the floor and replace it. You can also do a pipe lining. Have you guys heard of that? Pipe lining? Yeah, it's like a liquid that they put inside the pipe, and then once it hardens, it becomes like a PVC pipe. And that's another alternative, but there's pros and cons depending on the size of the drain line. If the drain line is too small, when you do that, it reduces it, so it creates another problem. So usually when you want a pipeline, you have to talk to a plumber about it. Usually you want to have like a 3-inch pipe or bigger. If it's 2.5 or 2.25, it's not recommended. So there's a lot of little situations that arise from that. Okay, so we talked about plumbing, radon, which is not very common, but just so you can know about it, and then the seawall, obviously. So if you're whoever's buying a waterfront property, they're thinking about the house, but they're thinking more about the boat. Okay, anybody you like bicycling already? I already know, but anybody boat lovers or like boating? Boat lover. Okay. Well, like if you there's people that buy a house because they can park their boat. So you want to make sure that seawall is good. You want to make sure that all the accessories, that you have water service outside, that you have electricity, that you have all these additional gadgets for your boat. Okay. Any questions on inspections? We're clear. Remember that this is a lot. I can talk about each subject for hours, so I don't want to bombard you. It's just kind of a glimpse. And I want you guys to understand that we're here for you for any questions. Okay. Now, as far as certifications, you're going to hear 30-year certification, 40-year certification, 10-year recertification. Have you guys dealt with that yet with buildings? Okay. So my daughter and I, last year we graduated with our engineering degree. So now we're doing engineering inspections as well. She copied off of me, just so you guys can know, but okay. Is this recording? Oh, don't forget that. As far as engineering, we do all types of engineering projects. So we do certification. So if you have a building, and anybody deal with HOAs or like associations, or if that's something that you don't deal with, it's super lucrative. So if they need their 30-year certification, 40-year certification, that's what we do. The certifications require 2 engineers, electrical and structural. And then basically we verify situations so Surfside doesn't happen again, type of thing. Okay. With that, it's a very small niche. There's not a lot of engineers that can do that type of engineering projects. We do. So anything that comes up like that, or any questions related to that, you can definitely call us. Okay. And then lastly, any questions? We're good? Clear? Yes.
Where are you service fee?
The areas of service?
Yeah, no, like the prices.
The prices for that, it depends on the building. There's a lot of, it depends. That's a whole different animal. For something like that, we would need an address to do a proposal together. Proposal is about 120 pages, so you can have an idea. Yeah, because there's buildings that are 300 units, 400 units, or separate buildings. And then depending on the area or the city, there's different requirements. There's different additional requirements. For example, Broward, when you do these certifications, Broward, you don't have to do an additional electrical test for thermal imaging, but Dade you do. So depending on the city, there's different requirements. Anytime you get something like that, I always recommend to send us the information from the county. That way we can fulfill everything, because every county is different. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is surveying. Anybody have heard the word, know a little bit about it? A little bit? Okay, so first and foremost, as a realtor, really after you pass your inspection period, you kind of disconnect, right? You're there, but you're not there. Like the title company takes care of it. Like you've passed the baton over, right? One thing that we're doing is the surveying. Now, surveying is usually part of a conjunction with the title company, but this is something that we're doing together. Why did we bring this in? My beautiful, all-knowing wife mentioned that surveying is something that a lot of realtors don't look at. And I didn't really know, so I asked her, I go, babe, what do you mean? I go, well, how about if you sell a home and the neighbor's fence is 3 feet in your property. What happens there? Like, how do you solve that? Well, so what I'm trying to say is that the inspection covers the details inside, but the surveying protects the land and your property. How many of us have neighbors that for a foot they give you a problem? Inches. I have one. I have one. Anybody want to move, like switch houses with me? Gladly. My wife's like, yeah, right away. Like, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. Yeah, the neighbor's absolutely crazy, and I'm a surveyor, and she's crazy. Like it's crazy. But anyways, there's a lot of detail with surveying where there's easements, there's right of ways, there's property corners. There's a lot of detail that's important to make sure that you service the buyer 100%. Okay. In the survey, what we do is we give you where your property begins and ends with points, with detail. We give you measurements. So if the buyer wants to do an addition, add a pool, add something else, you can do it. And it gives you the security that especially the fences are in the right locations. Okay. What I can do for you guys is this. We're putting a packet together where whenever you do the inspection, if you want to do the survey, we'll give you a better price than what they would pay in the title company. That way you give a better service, and then we'll detail it out. Additionally, when you do surveying, there's different types of surveying. You have your mortgage survey. Have you guys heard of that before? Your mortgage survey, which is your standard survey. And then you have your construction survey. Construction survey is if you're going to build something, you need to have elevations, you need to have certain details. As long as you guys tell me what they're going to do, if they're going to do anything in the future, we can turn that mortgage survey into a construction survey. And usually the construction survey is almost twice as expensive because it has double the amount of stuff. Okay, so we'll put this together. Lastly, with surveying, do any of you deal with investors that buy land and want to build? Okay, no. If you don't, and this is another class I would like to give, when you probably have not done it because you have little knowledge on it, I would say. But this is a niche that if you put it together, you'll be able to open your portfolio. When you sell land and development, you need to start with the survey. The surveyors, you can have an idea. The first one's in, the first one's out. First one's in to get the details. The last one's out to make sure that everything is in the position that it's in. So for land, you can sell land, and then we can actually give you elevations and go through the process. And we usually work with the architect of the individual. That's a good niche for you. If you open those doors, you'll do very well, because a lot of people, I know in Miami or Broward, there's areas where land is nowhere, or hard to get or expensive. But there's areas up north where you could do that. Or for example, Keystone Point, for example, you guys know the area, Keystone Point, North Miami, or let's say Coral Gables, or any area. Wherever you see a really old home, and then you see, have you guys sold homes where they bought them to demolish them and build like a brand new house? That's where you would need this type of service. But it's good to know the details. That way you can advise them in the process. I kid you not, it makes a difference when you talk to a builder and you tell them, yeah, of course, what phase are you in? Oh, you're setting your points. Oh, the elevation. Like, trust me, it clicks. You're like, whoa, this person has done it before. Even if you haven't done it before, I'll give you the knowledge to show like them that you know what you're talking about, and that's important. At the end of the day, what we're looking for as a company to do a collaboration. We're very grateful for what you guys do for us and send us business. So we want to make you guys look like superstars. We want to be there for you guys. We're also involved with a lot of events, which you guys, can tag with us. If everybody can maybe email me their information, we'll add you. We're doing we have 53 events this year already lined up, and there's more coming. We have the bicycle, which I'm going to see him there. I'll see you in my e-bike, because I won't be able to do the whole, for sure. But we can do that, and that's good, because if you guys want to open up doors for like dolphins, right there, like think outside the box. Yesterday, was it yesterday? The day before yesterday, we went to a Porsche event. I like cars, so like I went to, yeah, did you go or no? You heard about it? Yeah, amazing. I met 2 or 3 people. I met some old clients, and yesterday I got that day I got a job for a new builder that So if you guys want to sell to this type of clientele, you have to be involved in that world. There's a Lamborghini event coming up soon in February. If you want, we can start staying in touch with that. Sports is amazing. Like sports is really good for you guys. So we're starting to do that. We're doing the home show at the end of this month. January 31st, so February 2nd. If you guys want to be part of the home show, it's good. So you meet different people. We do a lot of interactions. There's a lot that we're doing, a whole lot. To close off, I wanted to say also that we have also a list of partners, which you guys are a part of. So if you run into an issue of plumbing or a roof or something and you need a quick, fast repair, affordable to resolve the issue, feel free to contact us as well. And we'll give you, some suggestions. You don't have to use them. I'm just giving you people that we've used in the past, At the same time, we're human, and any corrections that we need to make on our end, any constructive criticism, please, because the idea is for us to be better for you guys. So I don't want you to think that, oh, Johan is not going to listen. Yeah, I listen. That's how we learn, I've learned from her. For example, the inspection we did for her, the roof, we flew a drone, the roof looked horrible. She brought a few roofers in. It was dirty. And it looked like the roof was destroyed. Yeah, and when they cleaned it, it was brand new. So like, there's experiences that we're gonna, it's gonna happen, but we just gotta work with each other, So I'm open to that, I'll leave this area open for any questions. Anything? Did I complete my job? Do I get an A? We're trying to expand also. Virtually in the internet. If you guys can help us, please, with a review, please, it would be greatly appreciated. Especially we have a lot of clients from like up north and they love it. We started doing those reviews like recently, and I didn't know really how important it was. I'm old, so like I'm like, oh, no one looks at Google. Yeah, they do. So like, if you can help us out with that, would be great. And then anything that we can help you guys, it'd be amazing. It'd be amazing. So. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you.